I'm Jack Morris in Cornwall, P.E.I. I'm at what promises to be the biggest pinball arcade in all of Canada. More coming up on CTV News at 5.
Cornwall P.E.I. will soon become the unlikely home of Canada's biggest arcade, dedicated exclusively to pinball.
As CTV's Jack Morris explains, Seven Greylands collection numbers 75 odd machines, 50 of which are going up at the arcade.
Greylands used to work in IT, but
I like the idea of doing something that makes people happy, because I've spent the last 20 to 30 years with grumpy customers because their database has exploded.
Fun!
That is so fun, and so many of them.
A lot.
Yeah.
I know, it's a really fun game. Can't wait.
So we've been getting quite a bit of news coverage. This last week, I think we did 3 or 4 interviews. So the Guardian did a good story on us, and then the CTV came in and they did some filming, and apparently that story went national. So someone that I know that was on Vancouver Island saw it over there, all the way on the other side of the known Canadiaverse. And then the CBC covered us on the radio, and then last week we had no, it was this week. When was that? I don't remember when it was. I'm just kind of my brain is sort of fried. Yeah, last week we had French language CBC in, and apparently it's a web article, a radio article, and he did some filming, and that's going to go up on Monday. So in the description, I'll link to all of these interviews if I know where they are. So if you're like me, and I know I am, you have a Blackwater 100 and you can't move it because it's got a really, dare I say, stupid cabinet. It looks pretty cool when it's set up, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to move because you have a little problem here on getting the bottom of the hand truck underneath it and having it be flush. So you kind of peel it back and it pops off the hand truck. So here's how I moved it into the space. I basically just ratchet strapped a board to the bottom of it that was flush with this section here. So it came out a little bit flush here. Once I tip it back, I carry the machine not with the weight on the bottom corner, but more with the weight kind of distributed across by. So I move it quite low. Yeah, so this is how I did it.
Fun! That is so fun.
So I did hire an employee. He's just, he only works for tips. And if I had a tip to give him, it's don't only work for tips. All right, so Blackwater, Supersonic, Mars Trek, Comet, Cue Ball Wizard, Break Shot, Superstar, Strange Science. There's my custom cabinet Pinbot. Skateball is in here. Flash, Motordome, Meteor, Big Guns. You can't see it very well. Lethal Weapon 3. This is Alien Poker here. This is a little hard to see. I got my black lights up and going. What do you think of that? Kind of fun, huh? So I'm just adding more and more pizzazz. I'm going to call it pizzazz. Black light, pizzazz. So there's 3 lights. I don't know if you can see them. There's one there, and one there. I may get a 4th because I found out Lethal Weapon has UV reactive paint on its playfield, and I may just take this row and go all the way across. I was going to leave a little space here so that you can get back and play these 2 games, but I think I'm just going to go straight across and leave the space over here. I wanted to have one of these windows that I could open, so I was thinking that one, but it may be the one behind this one. I don't know. Anyway, Tales from the Crypt, Roller Games, Royal Rumble, Dragon, Triple Action, Starship Troopers, Batman Forever. And then over here, Hollywood Heat, which is a super kind of a dorky game, but I have a lot of fun playing this multiplayer because you can steal other people's work when they trap the balls. The trick that I found that makes Hollywood Heat a lot of fun is to get into your multi-ball, you have to go and hit the ramp shot. If you have this, if your flippers are too strong, or you don't have it on a high enough tilt, if you can cradle the ball and then make that shot, that takes the fun out of it. So I like it. I set it so that it's tilted in such a way that you have to have momentum of the ball coming down the side here, and then that extra little momentum will get you up the ramp. If you cradle the ball, it only makes it a little ways up the ramp and comes back down. That makes this game a little bit more difficult and a lot more frustrating, and I think a lot more fun because it makes multi-ball a little bit more difficult to get. Riverboat Gambler. There's Jackpot that you saw earlier. Spectrum. Spectrum came right up, but there was no sound, and then I realized I forgot to connect the speaker. So it's in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of touch-up that needs to be done down here, but luckily it's all very, very simple stuff. So I should be able to do that. The upper playfield looks pretty good. A little bit of cleaning. There's kind of a funny, I don't know if you can see it, on all of these inserts, there's sort of a cracking deal going on. It looks fine with light behind it. So what I think I'm going to do is I have to border around and clean up the black around it. And then after I do that, I think on one of them, I'm going to try to just flow a little bit of clear and see if that kind of hides that crackly thing. Yeah, we'll try that on one of them, see how it works, and if it works, then I'll just do all of them. I don't think I'm going to clear coat the whole thing just yet. I don't know. It depends when I get into it. It's fine to play for right now. I'll let people play it for the opening and for the first month or so, and then I'll kind of figure out how deep I want to get into this one. Volley, Nip It, Speakeasy, Secret Service in digital stereo, and Medusa and Time Zone, Palooka, big hit, and then here's the old 1943 The Mystery 6. So it's going to be set up. You won't be able to play it, but it will be set up for the opening, so people can see it. I've got my counters are in. The only thing that I need for this is I've got a piece of glass that'll go across here, and it'll come up to about here, and then I just need some cabinet covers, and then the espresso machine will go back here if we decide to go that route. And then I've got my window was installed today. I was going to do a wacky window on that, but my wood shop is completely covered in garbage because we moved all the machines out, and we just kind of threw stuff around, and so it's a real mess in there right now. So I just went with a plain rectangular window, but since it's rectangular, I'm going to get some decals for it so that the bottom half of the window looks like a pinball machine with the little flippers and the slingshots and the whole thing. And then up above, it'll just have a decal of the logo and the name. I think that's fine. And then if I want to do a wacky shape window later, then I can do a wacky shape window later. I think that's about it. I want to show you one more thing. I have a tendency to do things to amuse myself. So I did one of those here, and I made a switch, and the switch remote controls various things. Right now the switch is labeled Disco Party, and I'll show you why. But that switch will eventually, the label on it will change and it will trigger something else. It's right there, accessible by the public, so they can come up and whack the switch whenever they want to and just have fun with it. So we'll close with Disco Party, and until next time, See ya.
That is so fun.
Oh yeah, in the middle I can see the black hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's actually for play. I was really intrigued by it because it does have it's pretty simple, but it's easy to get the concept. So each bug is a different color. So these targets light, depending on how many, so let's say there's 4 warrior bugs on the planet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you gotta hit those down. Once you clear the planet of the bug,